What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. Well, with many competitors that graced the Arnold Classic stage this past weekend, this sets the tone for the kickoff of the 2023 bodybuilding season. Some competitors we'll see on stage later again this year. Andrew Jack, Akeem Williams, without a doubt, these guys will want to qualify for the Olympia. But Patrick Moore, I know, is another guy that wants to qualify for the Olympia as well. He rounded out that 10th place spot at the Arnold, one of the few predictions I got right, by the way. Now, in this video, I was going to talk mainly about the difference in Patrick's physique from his last showing at the 2021 Olympia to what we just saw this weekend. But Patrick just announced he's planning on doing another show in just 12 weeks. So I'll get to that in a second. But with Patrick Moore this past weekend, this was his return to the competitive bodybuilding stage. And I wanted to talk about Patrick because I still think that this guy has potential. And I still think that he's got a lot left to prove too. But time is definitely of the essence for Patrick. And he has to choose his moves very carefully. Now, Patrick actually released his own statement after the Arnold on his Instagram. In this statement, Patrick says here, "This was a special one. 9 months post-op ruptured Achilles and a 7-week prep. Almost 2 years away from the stage, and it felt amazing to be back. All the grind was 100% worth it to be a part of one hell of a lineup." And then he goes on to thank his family, friends, coaches, sponsors, all that stuff. So Patrick did have a great weekend, and he was able to break the ice after his 2-year break from the stage. But I gotta tell ya, this surprised me when I saw his latest post. Apparently, Patrick is ready to get back on stage sooner than I thought. He actually announced that he is now officially 12 weeks out from the California Pro. Now, I'm wondering if this is the right move for Patrick. I don't know who else is doing the show right now, but aside from improvements in conditioning, I mean, that's the most of what Patrick can improve on in 12 weeks. After just returning to the competitive stage and doing a very short 7-week prep, I mean, he said he was doing 3 to 4 hours in the gym between weights and cardio leading up to the Arnold. And look, if he thinks that he can do this show and win, he'll punch his ticket to the Olympia and have the rest of the year to make improvements. So, if Patrick can improve on his conditioning, then he just might have a shot at that win at the Cali Pro. But you know what? A lot of that depends on who else shows up. But after that, I mean, look, regardless of if he wins or loses, it's improvement time, for sure. The legs need to come up, the triceps need to come up, and if he wants to push for a top 10 spot at the Olympia, everything has to come up. He needs more size everywhere at the end of the day. Now look, I know Patrick has a coach, but maybe Patrick should call up Psycho Lewis and spend some time at Camp Psycho for training. We just saw the jumpstart it gave Andrew Jack in just 6 weeks. Psycho Lewis actually released some unseen footage leading up to the Arnold, and it helps show just how impressive of a transformation Andrew went through in just a few weeks, really. In one of the clips here, he shows that Andrew was actually 282 pounds fasted during this part of the video. Now, Andrew is a tall guy, so that weight isn't overly surprising, but he's definitely well over 300 pounds in the offseason. Now, Psycho Lewis had been very vocal about where he thought Andrew would place in the Arnold, but, of course, he's a professional as well. Yes, even with a name like Psycho. He really is the best in the game for the right athletes. Now, Psycho Lewis took to his Instagram to offer a few words on Samson's victory.
Buddy, I want to make a quick little video congratulating everybody that did the show. There was not one slouch in that show. The lineup was stacked. Over to Nick. Nick, I thought we had you, but you and Matt went back to the lab, made some changes. You came in bigger and fuller, harder. Definitely the hardest guy in the show. You deserve to beat Andrew. Hats off to you. My new best friend, Samson, the package he brought was the best that day, and you got to give it to him. And he's a gracious winner, and I'm really happy that he won. Samson, you deserve it. Milos, you did it again. Fouad, you were right. So I got to give it to all these people.
So credit where credit is due. And you know, Psycho Lewis knows that Andrew just shocked the world in his own way. And after prejudging, a lot of you guys had Andrew winning. Actually, a lot of you still do. Now, I do think that Samson was the best bodybuilder on stage that night in terms of a complete overall package. But I also think that Andrew Jack will surpass Samson the next time they step on stage together. I think Andrew, with 10 more pounds, is going to be a lot of trouble for a lot of great competitors out there. Now, Fouad Abiad actually released his own statement after the Arnold regarding Samson. Fouad took to his social media regarding some things that he'd been hearing online about Samson, a lot of which you could tell he wasn't very impressed with.
I want to address one thing though. Guys, I see a lot of comments online. There's always going to be people and have their favorites and this and that, and this person should have won or that person should have won. I will tell you this. Chris Aceto, who coached Andrew Jacked, Hani Rambod, who's coached multiple Olympia winners, 10 judges had Samson winning this show. I've spoke to multiple people who are very leading industry experts who've been in bodybuilding for a number of years, and all the people in this auditorium thought the judges got it right in all the placings, like 1st through 6th. Nobody is complaining. Nobody is saying anything about the placings. I think the judges got it spot on, and whoever doesn't think so maybe doesn't understand what they're looking at.
Well, I will say, a lot of fans did jump online to express their discontent with the placings. No different than any other bodybuilding show though, right? But I mean, I really think that this statement wasn't entirely necessary. Not just for that reason, but I think the overwhelming majority of bodybuilding fans accept Samson as the winner. I just think because it looked like it was such a close competition on stage, it fueled some very strong opinions. Some shows, it's not even close, and there's no debate on the clear winner. With this show, it did look close, especially at prejudging. When Samson showed up, he looked a little bit flat at prejudging. But apparently not in the judges' eyes, because according to the official scorecards, Samson won, no question. I definitely thought it was closer than what the scorecards showed, especially at prejudging, like I said, where Samson was a bit flat. But look, aside from the judging and just looking at what Fouad had to say, you gotta remember, Samson is not only part of Hostile, but Fouad and Samson are close friends too. And I think that's part of what made Fouad speak out on this. I mean, look, without a doubt, Fouad could get emotional about this. Samson literally did Fouad's routine that he did at the 2017 Arnold Classic, the last time that Fouad competed on stage, as a tribute to Fouad for having so much faith in him. So that's part of what really made Fouad speak out on this, I think. And you know what? If he wants to go online and defend his friend and his athlete, well, at the end of the day, I think the trophy speaks more volume than anything else does. So that's it for me in this video, you guys. A couple more Arnold stories to round out a great weekend in bodybuilding. Still lots of more great shows coming up this year. I'll have all the details for you guys right here. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.